like the possibilities of what you can do as a marketer have completely changed, and AI has only been accelerating this shift. I think there's a big issue in just try to delegate things to AI directly instead of thinking of like how can AI empower myself. I think most smart performance marketers have been putting more and more attention into creative strategy.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. My name is 𝗲𝗶𝗶𝘀𝗶. I am your host for the AI Marketing Show by 𝘁𝗵𝗶𝗀, and today I have a special guest, Andres Levinton. He is the director of growth marketing at SuperSide, and we're super excited to have you. So, Andres, before we kick it off, do you mind sharing a little bit about your background and what you do currently at SuperSide?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Isabella, for welcoming me here. I'm Argentinian. I'm currently based in Brazil. I've been in the performance marketing space for about over a decade by now. I've led growth at SuperSide for over 4 years. Joined SuperSide when it was a much smaller company, about 5 million ARR. We currently cross over 60 million ARR. So yeah, I've seen it grow quite a bit. Most of the growth came through inbound, which is a bit rare for B2B SaaS. Facebook ads played a huge role for us, despite our pretty high ACV. We just saw an opportunity there. We went all in. And as Facebook ads evolve over time, it got pretty clear for us that like number one factor driving results was the creative itself. So that meant that we got to put just more attention to understand what worked, what didn't, and into just improving the marketing and creative team collaboration. So just from that insight, we decided to build super ads internally within SuperSide, which is a tool to analyze your paid social ad performance. This initially started like a side project from SuperSide CTO. We used it internally. We really liked it. Then we put together a small team. We started working more and more on it. We opened a public beta that was quite successful. And in November, we officially launched this. We crossed 10,000 signups by now. We got teams from all types of industries using it. And for a while, I juggled between SuperSide and Super Ads. And now I'm just focusing exclusively on Super Ads. We're very happy with the growth it's been having. And yeah, I'm very bullish on the project.
Wow, congratulations. That is awesome. Excuse me. That is really cool. So for the 10,000 people that you have on the platform so far, like that was also through inbound or that was through ads?
That was also I'm referring when I mentioned the inbound aspect of SuperSide. What I refer was that all the traffic came inbound through, in the case of SuperSide, from ads, from SEO, etc. It was not unlike what's typical for like B2B companies targeting enterprise, not through like ABM motions, outbound, etc. In the case of Super Ads, our traffic has mainly come from ads and from some SEO efforts that have been working quite well.
Wow, that is really impressive. Congratulations.
Thanks.
That's awesome. So
we when we launched Super Ads, we are extremely generous in what the product offered. You could just sign up for free, use it for free, no limitation, and gladly that worked quite well. A lot of people were just eager to try it, and we had I think a significant word of mouth effect. People just telling other people, and yeah, it grew quite well.
that's awesome. That's really cool. So I guess like diving into that a little bit more, I know you mentioned you've been working in growth essentially, right, for over a decade. Through the process, you've also witnessed the market evolve and AI come into the play, right? It used to be very manual, very much like spreadsheets and doing all this manual testing and stuff like that. So, from your perspective, what is like the biggest difference at the moment of how we create, optimize, and scale ads before and after AI?
Okay. I'd say that like anyone that's been working in performance marketing for a while has been feeling the effects of AI before the huge explosion of like ChatGPT, the rise of LLMs, Gen AI, etc. We started seeing like things shift earlier. If you like, I remember how performance marketing teams used to work not that long ago, and where they spend their time, and it was very different to how they work now. The old performance marketing job used to involve like constantly optimizing beats, manually changing CPCs, doing adjustments constantly on targeting, like lots of ad account management. Let's say on the paid search side of things, you dealt with like hundreds thousands of keywords. On paid social, you had like really complex ad account structures. But then like the platforms themselves evolved. So like the AI got much better at managing beats, managing pacing the ad spend, and just like delivering results based on you defining the right signals. Like on Google, we saw smart bidding appear, universal app campaigns that I think now are called Google App Campaigns, demand gen campaigns. On Meta, we've seen Advantage Plus take over, broad targeting becoming the default, and so on. So what I mean by this is that currently, like humans don't really try to like outbid Google or Meta anymore, and they focus on other stuff. They focus on like sending the right success signals. They have much simpler account structure, and they spend their time thinking about the offer for the product or service they are advertising, the creative itself, the landing page, and so on. So like performance marketing, I think, has changed quite a bit the last couple of years, and even before, this AI explosion. And even I think the team composition has reflected these changes. In the past, for like one big ad account, you could have multiple performance marketers, multiple or media buyers, however you want to call it. I never liked the term media buyer, but you get the idea. You would have like multiple performance marketers or growth marketers, perhaps just like one designer supporting them, for example. And things, I think, completely turned by now. You may have like one performance marketer, but with a ton of creative support from like video editors, designers, and so on, because by now it's understood that now the alpha is in just the creative quality itself, the volume and the variety, and AI has only been accelerating the shift. Performance marketers have been having to be more involved in the creative strategy. Creative perhaps look at performance data more, like the lines have been blurring a bit more. So I think this just really changed the dynamic and how performance marketers spend their time. That said, I don't think that we've only seen, let's say, advances in terms of, let's say, targeting, bidding, and so on. There are other areas where clearly there are big changes in terms of how AI has affected our work. I'd say there are mainly 4 areas. One on which we focus in SuperSide. You could have, let's say, creative analytics or creative strategy, where AI is just making things easier. In the past, you'd have to spend a lot of time just analyzing and reporting large volumes of data. AI is just simplifying things. Then in terms of ad creation, things have been changing a lot, but there's still a lot of room to improve. I don't know what's been your experience with this as a user or perhaps on the marketing side, but I feel like this is where I still see perhaps the most potential for things moving forward. In terms of ad creation, I would just break down things into 3 things. In terms of, let's say, copy and writing scripts, coming up with ad ideas, AI has completely shaked things up. The quality now it's incredible. I think that's undoubted, and no one can doubt that. I think that this is perhaps the best use of AI in creative right now. Just coming up with good ad copy, coming up with good scripts ideas and so on. And I think this is the quality you can get will largely depend on the context you passed to the LLMs. In terms of video and ad and image generation, like creating the actual ad itself, I don't think AI by itself is ready yet. In terms of static images, you can see, just pretty big improvements since OpenAI released 4.0, but it still has issues in things like brand consistency, text, and so on. I think by far the best results, and we see this firsthand in SuperSide, is when you combine like possibilities of AI with like human talent by far. And this is even clearer when it comes to AI video generation. I think here the AI plus human combo is definitely working best. I see some approaches working quite well, like using VO free from Google to create some hooks for the start of an ad. That works, I think, okay. I'm starting to notice it when I'm scrolling on my phone. Like I know it's like, hey, this doesn't look real. This probably was created with VO free. I don't buy the whole like AI UGC thing. I've tried it. I couldn't come up with any winner using it. And I also find it a bit strange that even when you look at the ads of the companies that are doing this, like Arcats, for example, which is the most well-known company, they're not just fully using their product either. Like they use it, but they combine it with human videos. Like the combination of like AI video with human video, I think works much better than just pure AI video. Sorry, I think I lost track. And besides ad generation, I'd say we got AI affecting like campaign management. Like there are some tools that are try to just manage your campaigns end to end. I don't think the technology is there yet for that. And I think where we are seeing really good advances and where like marketers should really put attention is on how AI is simplifying the creation of just landing pages. Like the possibilities of what you can do as a marketer have completely changed the last year, I'd say. Tools like Lovable, Replit, and so on just makes it so much easier for marketers to be able to just create whatever they devise, and that gives marketers so much autonomy. Like they don't need to wait for engineering teams months to create whatever they had in their head. They can just boot something up, send traffic to it, and see if it works, which I think it's pretty incredible.
A lot has changed, and that is really insightful. I have heard I have actually seen and experimented more with like the AI videos for ads, and that's been an interesting experience. But you are right, like it can't just be AI by itself. It has to be a collaboration of AI and human, which is really how people should be thinking about AI in general. And in all industries, it's always AI plus human. So that's really insightful. So I guess when it comes down to like the actual workload, right? Like actually having to use dashboards and reports and Bright reports and stuff like that. What makes AI tools like Super Ads different? What can AI actually do that traditional tools wouldn't be able to, and why should performance marketers make the switch?
Okay. I'd say that Super Ads is AI powered, but there's still a significant human component to it. We have some AI powered features that save marketers time, but it's still a tool that depends on just a user sitting on the other side and understanding what's the goal, what they want to basically, what insights they want to extract from their ad campaigns. In terms of Super Ads, I think the difference, and to be fully transparent, Super Ads and any creative analytics tool, there are other creative analytics tools out there in the market. We're not the only ones, although of course I'm biased. I do think we're the most powerful tool, and I can objectively say we are the only tool you can use for free. So that's but yeah, there are other tools in the market. There's SuperSide, there's Emotion, Magic Reef, Atria. There are multiple different tools. But what this creative analytics tool offers is just much more powerful and convenient than just traditional reporting tools. Using a typical BI tool, you wouldn't be able to see the actual creative. You would be limited in what you can do. It would be just like a bit of a pain to set things up. A tool like SuperSide, it's extremely frictionless. You just connect with all your ad accounts in case you're managing multiple ad accounts with just one click. We sync all your data, and then with just only a couple of clicks, you'd be able to visualize whatever is relevant for your ad account, start really deep diving into what's working, what isn't, and you have this just very clean, beautiful reports you can just share with one click to your colleagues. So everyone can be on the same page, and the data will always automatically update and so on. When it comes specifically about AI features, I'd say we got 3 or 4 features currently that are very helpful for marketers. One is that we use a combination of different AI models to just scan your ad account, look into every single ad, and we, looking at the actual content of the ad, not like naming conventions and so on, we are able to group your ads so that we can, let's say, categorize your ads based on what's the emotion that's coming across in your ad, what's the value prop of your ad, what's the hook, what's the product that get advertised, and so on. So you don't even need to have strict naming conventions and do any manual work. We're already just categorizing everything for you, so you can easily start seeing, okay, is there a certain emotion performing best for me? Is any type of product benefiting from a certain angle or a certain hook, and so on? So you start getting all these pretty useful layers of information, which you can just chart and display with 1 click, 2 clicks. It's pretty convenient.
Wow.
It requires no manual work. So that's like a pretty big differentiation on our end. Besides that, for teams that do use pretty strict manual conventions, manual naming conventions, what we do and save them a lot of time is that we actually scan all your ads and we start finding these patterns, and LLMs are really, really good at this. So we find patterns in your naming conventions and already suggest to you in which ways you can group your ads with no effort on your end. So you don't even need to like tag things manually, create groups and so on. We will suggest them for you. That's been pretty helpful for our users.
Wow, that sounds really cool. I guess moving into like maybe seeing an example, do you think that you have an example or a case study that you can show us and also share with us where using AI for performance marketing actually made a drastic improvement?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we have thousands of customers saving a lot of time and improving their ROAS through our platform. I don't want to call out any specific customer. We have multiple case studies on our site that can, anyone can check them out at superside.ai. I can speak about our own campaigns, prefer just doing that. And one example that I think might be interesting for watchers, something we've built not long ago, which personally I'm quite proud of because I didn't think that as a marketer I'd be capable of doing it. Let me just share it 1 sec, which is the following. We use AI. In this case, we use a tool called 𝗲𝗶𝗶𝗴𝗶. I don't know if you're aware of it. It's a European company. It's been getting extremely popular. We use this tool to build this benchmark tool where, I mean, we got this aggregated anonymized data in our database, but I was really curious about if we were able to just create benchmarks anyone could access and could filter. Is the type of tool that myself as a marketer I would always wanted to have access, but I'm not a coder, so like it would have been impossible for me to just code something like this. Well, with AI, it was not impossible. I did a extremely fast prototype with Lovable. Then our data team was able to plug the actual real data in here, already aggregated, anonymized. But it was insane just being able to come up with something like this so fast and to like code it just by telling the AI instructions of how I wanted this to look like.
Yeah, Lovable is awesome.
No, it's insane. It's insane. So yeah, we initially built this like for like a performance marketing objective. Like I thought about running ads to this tool, but actually it just ended up becoming a really, really good SEO play. And yeah, we got a lot of traffic, a lot of signups from it. And most importantly, I got really good feedback from users telling me that, yeah, this was the type of data they always wanted to get access to. And yeah, it was typically not possible. And I would add to it that as we get more and more and more users into super ads, this data will just only improve. It will only get more accurate and more complete. You're already able to filter by like metric. We got what I think are probably the 6 most relevant metrics for Facebook ad marketers. You can filter by platform, campaign type, industry, country, and we offer you up to 1 year of data. Of course, as time passes, we will have more and more data. We could just expand this, the filters, the date range, and so on.
Nice. That's pretty cool. So, I mean, getting a little sidetracked, but that's pretty cool that you were able to build that on Lovable. Are there any other tools that you guys are working on that you guys are like vibe coding and just becoming even stronger because of AI?
I'd say on the creative side, we definitely vouch by like ChatGPT and Claude when it comes to coming up with headlines, scripts, and so on. But the quality will depend directly on the context you provide to those tools. So if you're just attempting to just like get a headline just by prompting, give me a headline for my product, like the quality will be terrible. Now, if you're able to put some time into actually putting some docs with reasonable context around your personas, past winners, pain points, and so on, then the output will be much, much better. I've also been using AI to research the common pain points from a persona. For the case of super ads, for example, I've set up a workflow in Gumloop where I look at the top post in the /Facebook ads subreddit, trying to see if there are like things that repeat. Like, are there any common pain points getting traction there? Are users using any specific language that I should incorporate into my ads, and so on? So like have this workflow, and I get a summary each week with what trended there, and as a summary of like how can that be repurposed for any scripts or any ads we create for super ads.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I guess going back to that example that you just shared with us, right? That was all the campaign data from ads. Is it possible like to maybe see what was happening before and after, before running those campaigns, before you used super ads?
In the case of the Lovable example?
Yeah. Or any other example you might have.
In the case of Lovable, I don't have like anything to compare it against. Basically, we had no tool like this. I think there's simply like no other tool like this out there either. I saw this opportunity because we had all this data that could be aggregated, anonymized, and then shared with the public so that they could just filter it and get reasonable benchmarks, because it's always been so difficult to understand like how are my, like, let's say you are working in finance, advertising in Japan. You may have no idea what's the actual CPC there. And it's so difficult to just find peers. So it's very difficult to get like actual benchmark data that's current, that's real, and that just can be filtered. I couldn't find anything like it. So yeah, we decided to build it. What I could say is that although it was initially like more of like a product and performance marketing play, on the SEO side, it completely took over, and currently half of our organic traffic has been coming from the tool itself. Like, we've been putting a lot more hours into developing blog posts and other content, yet this tool that was made possible by 𝗲𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗶, just has really affected our organic traffic positively.
So just to make sure I understand, then the tool is basically like it's basically analyzing a lot of raw data that you had to set the industry benchmarks.
The tool aggregates data we have to display. Let me just quickly screen share it again so it's easier. So basically, the tool shows you what's currently, let's go to the US as an example. The tool is currently displaying, based on all the ad accounts we've connected in an aggregated anonymized way, what's the CPC per month in the US. But of course, you could just, let's say, look into what's the actual CPC per month on Instagram for conversion campaigns for, let's say, finance. This type of granular data, it's not available anywhere. And you could just filter specific months and so on. And we have multiple metrics publicly available. We want to keep expanding this list, of course. The issue we struggle with is that although we want to make things as granular as possible, we need a reasonable number of ad accounts of ad spend for each subset in order to make the data reliable. Like, if our sample is just too small, then the data might not be accurate, and we don't want to show like inaccurate data.
Yeah. Okay, I understand. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Does it also tell people like how they can improve and how they can get their information, like their ads, to like what they can use super ads or what they can do to improve to get their numbers closer to what's industry standard if they're too high?
Not currently, but what we're doing on super ad side in terms of benchmarking is like a intra-account benchmark. Can I quickly share super ads for 1 sec?
Yeah.
Okay. On the super ad side, we're benchmarking your account against yourself. We haven't yet added these industry benchmarks, but we're planning on doing that next. What we're doing now, for example, is that for any ad in your ad account, we will compare that ad to the performance of all ads you run in your account the last 90 days. And based on it, we are crafting this super ad scores where we are evaluating like each key component of an ad. And we are generating a 0 to 100 scale that's color coded. So it's very easy for everyone to understand like how their ads are performing against their own benchmark. This is the actual data from SuperSide, sorry. So to give you an example, anyone just looking at their ad account can easily visually see like which ads are good at what. For example, this ad right here is so at getting people to just watch the first couple of seconds. It's extremely good at getting people to watch the actual ad, the full video. It's not good at getting people to click, and it's not as good at getting people to convert either. Whereas, for example, this ad right here is way above average at getting people starts to see to see the first seconds. It's pretty good at getting people to see the full ad. That's why it has a 100% hold score. Not that good at getting people to click, but pretty good at getting people to convert. So we crafted all these super ad scores, benchmarking you against yourself, so that you can easily, just in seconds, understand which ad is good at what. What we haven't added yet, and we plan adding it soon, is what you just mentioned. Basically, comparing you against not just yourself, but also against peers, and yes, offering hints around what can be done in order to just bridge that gap.
Wow. Okay. So this is a very interesting tool. So when it comes down to like, excuse me, when it comes down to, for example, that fourth video has a low hook score. How can they use AI to like make it better, or any like processes that you would recommend to like improve their own content, their own ads?
Yeah, I mean, I would certainly suggest anyone to always use like AI to enhance their workflow, not to like delegate things to AI. In this case, for example, I guess they use AI to easily see which ad is succeeding or failing at what. We're building now a separate type of report that we internally calling uplift report, that is taking every element out of your ads, like the type of objects that are appearing, the type of emotions, the type of value props, angles, and so on. And we will offer users a quick summary of like which dimensions or components could positively affect each aspect. So for example, we will provide you with a summary of what you can do to just improve your whole score, as you just mentioned. We don't have that yet in the platform. What we do have now is we call it Ask AI. It's a chatbot you can chat with that has context on your ad account, and it can suggest ideas on how you could improve, in this case, the hook score. That said, we are working a lot on improving it, and the uplift score and the updated Ask AI will be much better at handling the type of task you suggest. Like, for example, you take one ad and you say, how can I improve the hook score of this ad?
Yeah, I think that would be really helpful for people. So I guess when it comes down to like, I know we've talked a lot about like the things to do, or the things that are working well, but moving on to like mistakes, what do you see? What do you see are the biggest mistakes that performance marketers are currently making when they start incorporating AI into their workflow?
To me, issue I noticed by reading like other peers on social media and by chatting with people is that there's like this temptation of doing very complex things simply because it's possible, and I don't think that yields good results. By this I mean, I see all these overly complex 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗶 or NA8 workflows where it isn't that clear the real purpose of why you wanna. I mean, I fall into this temptation as well. Let me give you an actual example for myself. I mentioned a couple of minutes ago that I have this workflow in 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗶 where I would get a summary of everything that happened in a specific subreddit that's relevant to me, to see if I can use this in my ads. The original workflow I had set up tried to create a script directly based on the subreddit activity and would send me that ad idea to my email. The quality was terrible, and it makes sense. Like, why would I ask AI to just take all those steps? I'm getting much better results if I ask the AI to just like provide me a summary of what happened there, and then if something resonates with me, I can create a script, for example.
Yeah.
But I don't think it makes sense to just have like all these extremely complex workflows and just try to automate everything. And I think there's a big issue in just try to delegate things to AI directly instead of thinking of like, how can AI empower myself, and just use AI in conjunction with human work. For example, if you want to create an image, you will have a static ad. You will probably have much better results if you use AI tools. But I don't know. Let's say you export an image and then finalize the text and the render elements in Figma. Or if you want to create a video ad, you might create a hook in Vo3 and combine that with some product video you already set up, instead of just trying to get everything from the get-go just and exclusively using AI.
Yes, I agree. I think it does require a lot, and I think you also mentioned this with Lovable, right? Like the better the prompt, the better the output, and same with AI. I think it's the same thing, right? It's really bringing in human into the mix. So I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you touched on that, because I think that's important for people to hear. I think there's that common fear that people have: is AI going to replace my job and all of that? And I think, as you also just shared, it's more of a use AI to help you with the work, not necessarily do the full thing just yet. And interestingly enough, I know you mentioned also it's like not good to automate a lot of things, but we haven't really talked about AI agents. What's your view on AI agents for the ads process?
We are very bullish on AI agents on the let's say analytics / insight side of things, which is where we're focusing. And the upcoming features will release within SuperAds come from work we're doing on training different agents on different subtasks around analyzing different aspects of an ad account. So the part I'm more familiar with, which is this, I think it will have a pretty big impact. Once again, for example, the example of agents I've seen around like ad generation haven't convinced me yet. But I've been focusing a bit more on just like the analytics side of things than on the ad generation side of things, and perhaps I'm missing something. But I haven't seen any like incredible workflow, or haven't seen any tool that currently is able to successfully accomplish like end-to-end creative generation.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of them, but really it's just creating the AI avatars or the UGC on the creative side, but then the human still has to go in and edit them and stuff like that. Yeah. Cool. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so I have one last question for you here. So if you were mentoring a young performance marketer today, what would you advise them to focus on, and what can they safely overlook?
I would caution them against focusing exclusively on, let's say, on media buying or what happens on the ad platforms. I think that will get increasingly automated. I think most smart performance marketers have been putting more and more attention into creative strategy. They have been like just sort of like transitioning into that. So I would advise in favor of just putting more attention to everything that surrounds and affects performance marketing. So looking into creative strategy, thinking like from marketing first principles about what offers they should have, focusing, of course, on the landing page, being able to now autonomously create landing pages and test them, focusing on optimizing against different conversion actions and so on. I think like as ad platforms evolve, it's only necessary for performance marketing roles to just also evolve in tandem.
Yeah, that's true. So, well, thank you so much, Andres, for sharing all of your insights. If there is anything that you think that we may have missed, is there anything else that you would like to add?
No, I think I'm good. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. Really quick, where can people find you? Are you active on any social platforms, or what's the best links for you?
Okay, I'm not very active on social platforms, but something that I need to work on. So they can find me on LinkedIn, and hopefully I'll be more active there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Andres, for being here. Thank you for all of your insights, and hopefully this is helpful to anyone else that's trying to improve their performance marketing strategies using AI.
Cool. Thanks a lot for having me. Bye, Isabella. Nice to chat.